In this video, I'm going to talk about the handstand kick-up. When someone first starts out doing handstands and it is time to work on the handstand kick-up, there is a few things that we need to focus on. And I'm going to talk about how it normally looks for someone who just starts out and what we want to achieve when we do the handstand kick-up. So something that I commonly see, whether you have the hands starting on the ground or if you are lunging into it, placing the hands in the motion of kicking up into the handstand, is that the rib cage is not really coming along for the ride. And so by that I mean, oftentimes I see that people can stack their shoulders on top of the wrist really well, or quite well. But what is happening when they're kicking up is this arching through the back and then this bow shape through the legs. And oftentimes I see that the hip kind of comes over the body, like over the hands and the shoulders, like somewhat, maybe not like fully on top of, but what I really see often is that the rib cage is flaring at the front, so the rib cage, so the lower ribs are flaring, and that is what's creating this bow, and then the legs comes on top of that as an extra or additional bow in the attempt to try and get enough mass on top so that you can stick your balance. And so what we really want to do is kind of get more of a pivoting motion happening through the torso. So we want to, if we're doing a hands down on the ground handstand kick up, we want to place the hands down, we want to elevate through the shoulders, and we want to stack the shoulders on top of the wrist. And then as you are kicking off the ground, you want to pivot your rib cage and the pelvis so that the hip also comes on top and stacks up with the shoulders and the wrist. And then obviously we want the legs on top of that so that we can get into our nice straight handstand alignment. So this is a common thing that I see happening. The main cue that I use for this is to pull the belly button in. So as the legs comes off the ground, you want to suck the belly button in and basically pivot. You want to keep the shoulder open and you want to make sure that there is this pivoting happening through the torso, so that the rib cage is not sort of stuck in that position, because then the ribs are going to flare and then there is going to be too much weight being into underbalance. You're probably not going to come all the way up and things are just going to get generally pretty messy. So what we want to make sure that we are doing is that we are stacking things on top. It's not a very easy thing to do. It's pretty tricky with the handstand kick up to coordinate these moving parts and time it really well, but that is what we are attempting to do. So I'm going to show you how that works, what that looks like for many people in the beginning when they are doing a handstand kick up with the hands on the ground and then doing the lunge into it, as well as the correct sort of coordination of the handstand kick up. So have a look at this.